We're speaking about the perfect Purim. And the truth is, in this world, we almost never reach perfection, but we always have to strive for perfection. The level that we achieve in anything is according to the goal that we set. As Yisrael Salanter once said, he said, if I tried to be Yisrael Salanter, I would get nowhere. He said, I tried to be Rebbe Kiva Eger, so therefore I became Yisrael Salanter. So what is our goal for Purim? Anything in Yiddishkeit, anything in Judaism, you have to set a very, very high goal. The higher goal you set, the more successful you'll be. So let's talk about three things. Let's talk about Torah, Avodah, and Gemilas Chasadim. First of all, Torah. Baruch Hashem, in our call, we're Zoiche Purim morning. We have a Seder, we daven eights, and we learn until 9:30. And the Mishnah Berurah is a special Haftacha. He gives a special Haftacha. He says, whoever learns Torah before the Suda, lo yi kilkul b'Suda. Lo yi kilkul b'Suda, right? Because as the Bir Halach already asks, the mitzvahs of Purim are from the strangest mitzvahs in the entire Jewish religion. He says, you look at Psukim and Nach, pasuk after pasuk after pasuk, they're warning us to be careful of the ill effects that wine can have, right? So what happens? We have the holiest day of the year. The Arizal says Yom Kippur is Yom Kippurim, right? It's compared to the Kedusha of Purim. We have the holiest day of the year, and people are getting drunk, yeah, inebriated, stoned, whatever word you want to use, yeah. So what's going on here? Right? The answer is that as long as we have das, yeah, as long as we have our fixed way of seeing the world, so we're very limited. Right? When we break out of our understanding, ad de lo yada, then we can come to the highest level of complete acceptance. As long as we hold on to our own way of seeing things, then we're going to be limited by our own perception. But the moment we break out of that, and then we see the world in a totally different light. And that's ad lo yada, and that's the highest possible level a Jew could reach is bittul haseichel. It's just giving everything over into Hashem's hands. In the words of the Hasidic Sfarim, mi ayin yavo Ezri. A person comes to a bechinas ayin where there's nothing except the Kodesh Baruch Hu's recognition. But that's dangerous. You're getting into the zone of the highest level of kedusha, and the highest level of kedusha exists the highest level of tumah. So that's why it says the Mishnah Berurah, bringing from Kadmonim, of course, right? A person wants to be matzliach, he wants to be successful in his suda to reach the highest levels of kedusha. How do you do it? Learn Torah beforehand, because Torah is shmira, Torah is matzlamagin. When a person's reaching those for the highest levels of kedusha, then Torah will protect you. That's Torah. Avoda, tefillah, right? Make sure to daven mincha before you start your suda. Because if a person has successfully fulfilled the mitzvah of ad lo yada, it'll be very, very hard to daven mincha afterwards. I remember when I was a mashgiach in a yeshiva, right? Friday night came out, Purim came out Thursday by day, Friday by day. So Friday night was mostly Purim, and there was someone who seemed to fulfill the mitzvah of ad lioda to the best possible shita. And he was standing there davening, right? And he was walking back. He was dressed up like a soldier, and he was walking back and forth, and it was like going like this. So I said, "You're not davening." I closed his sitter, and he collapsed onto the floor. Apparently, I was right in my estimation. So that's avoda. The Gemara, Chazal say, anybody who davens when they're drunk, it's like they were over the Avodah Zarah. Explains the Rashba, because even though when you're drunk, you feel tremendous closeness to Hashem, and you feel like you're out there in this, right? But it can lead a person to the wrong path. Before you start the Suda, daven first. That's avoda. And finally, Gemilas Chasadim. We have halacha in Purim. Kol haposhet yado nosilo. Anybody who holds out their hands, give them. During the year, we're not supposed to give stalker to everybody. Not everybody's reliable. Yeah, not everybody is worthy of receiving stalker money. A person who collects stalker is a gabbai. He's supposed to give it out to the worthwhile causes, right? On Purim, there's no cheshbonos. We're above all calculations. Just give it to everybody. Again, it's the same idea. Mi'ayin yavo Ezri. Don't think too much. Don't limit the world based on your own understanding. Rather, what you should do is just give to everybody, like Hashem. Right? Hashem keeps the biggest Rush alive, and he keeps the biggest Tzaddik alive. He doesn't make any calculations. On Purim is the closest possible level we can reach to be domain to Hashem. Right? We have a special mitzvah, Balachta B'Jokov, go in the way of Hashem. On Purim, we touch on that level. Right? And again, in Torah, right, you learn Torah, you'll be elevated. It'll lift your neshama up. Right? I know myself. If I don't start the day off with Torah, then my Yetzer Hara is controlling me. You start your day with Torah. You're a holy person, right? When you have the Suda, you'll be elevated to the level of Yom Kippurim, of the highest levels of Kedusha, Avoda, Daven Mincha before your Suda, and make sure, Gamil's Chesedim, make sure to give as to many as people possible before the Suda. The Rambam says you can give $100 to one person or $1 to 100 people. It's better to give $1 to 100 people. Why? Because every single act of giving breaks you a little bit. It makes you more of a giving person. It makes you more like Hashem. Everybody should have the greatest tzlacha, bracha, and siyat deshmaya. Your suda should lift you up to the highest heights, right? And remember, I'll tell you, finish off with one thing. If you're going to drink wine, drink slowly. Eat in between each course, drink slowly. Don't make the mistake which I once made, was to drink a lot of wine all at once. That's too much for the body. It doesn't work. Drink it slowly, right? It's called being yushav b'shtiyasa. Be yushav, drink slowly, let it go in, and nichnas yayin yotzi sod. If you are a person who has a very powerful neshama and is full of Torah, then the sod will come out. If you're not like that, then other things might come out of your mouth, which can make a mess. Everyone should have a Freilich Purim, and we should be Zeiche. This is the Purim before the Gula, Purim of Kabbalah's Pnei Mashiach. Amen. Kain Torah.